Hey everyone! Before the Europeans showed up, slavery already existed in different ways across Africa, including Nigeria. It usually happened because of war, debt, or as a punishment. Enslaved people became part of the community. They worked in homes, on farms, or served important leaders. It's important to remember that this type of slavery was very different from the cruel chattel slavery that came with the transatlantic slave trade. It wasn't as harsh, and people had more chances to improve their lives. But when European traders starting with the Portuguese in the late 1400s arrived, everything changed. The transatlantic slave trade, which lasted for over 400 years, saw millions of Africans taken across the Atlantic to work on plantations in the Americas. Nigeria, especially the Bight of Benin, became a major center for this terrible trade. European traders like the Portuguese, British, Dutch, and French set up trading posts along the coast. They traded manufactured goods, guns, and other things for enslaved Africans. At the same time, the trans-Saharan slave trade continued, with enslaved people being taken north across the Sahara Desert to North Africa and the Middle East. This older trade saw enslaved Africans forced into many roles, like working in homes, serving in armies, and working on farms. The demand for slaves in both trades had a huge impact on Nigerian societies. It caused wars and made whole areas unstable. The desire for money made kingdoms fight each other, and the winners often sold their prisoners into slavery. This cycle of violence and exploitation left a lasting scar of pain and division. The slave trade was terrible for Nigeria in many ways. It caused some areas to lose huge numbers of people as millions, often the youngest and strongest, were taken from their homes. This loss of people hurt local economies and broke down communities. The trade also caused more fighting within Nigeria, as kingdoms and communities fought over control of the slave trade routes. The Oyo Empire, a powerful Yoruba empire in what is now southwest Nigeria, first became richer and stronger because of the slave trade. It used its army to capture and sell slaves, gaining wealth and power. But relying on the slave trade caused the empire to fall apart. When the trade started slowing down in the 1800s, the Oyo Empire, weakened by fighting within and pressure from outside, collapsed. The slave trade also hurt people's minds and spirits. It created fear and mistrust, as communities were always at risk of being attacked and having people taken away. The pain from this trauma is still felt today, showing how deep the wounds from this awful time in history really are. Section 4. Abolition and its aftermath. The movement to end the slave trade grew stronger in the late 1700s, driven by people who knew it was wrong and by changes in the world's economy.